a real conversation. Big question. Today's only Wednesday, and this has been the question of the week. I've had people inbox me over and over again, how to make money with no money. And I thought about it and I said, okay, this is just something that keeps going on. This is just a question that happens over and over and over. But we really need to discuss the bigger problem. I know in your mind, Glendon, I have no money. I need money. Jojo need milk. Big mama needs some money. Little so-and-so needs this. He needs that. Everybody needs money. I have no money and people don't value me. I need to get some money. And I know you're going, that's the larger problem. No, it's not. It's not the larger problem. Let's look at the larger problem, which is you do not put money as a priority in your life. It's not a priority. If you can get to level 152 on Zawoski's game or whatever fucking game, if you can get to the highest level, but you don't have any damn money to your name, playing games, doing this other stuff is more of a priority to you than earning money. Because you can earn money with no money. But see, this is the problem. You have to work. You'll have to work maybe some bullshit job. You may have to do some shit you don't want to do to earn money. This is the problem. I did an analysis. What I'm really getting is, hey, Glendon, how the hell can I make a lot of money with little to no fucking effort? That's the cusp of it, because there's more videos on this channel that tell you exactly what to do, how to do it. But yeah, Glendon, man, I'm not trying to work that hard. I understand I'm living with my mama. I understand I'm living with my parents. I understand I have no money, but I'm trying to have that lifestyle like you have, that internet lifestyle where you come and go as you please, do what you want to do. That's what I'm looking for. And I don't want to pay you, and I don't really want to pay anyone. I just want to get paid. Second problem, it's all about you. There's no one else that comes into the equation. You got to get money, not we got to get money. You got to get money. No one else matters. You're selfish as fuck. That's another reason you are broke. That's another reason you are broke. You're selfish as I don't know what. So I'm going to keep the points close. Number one, money's not a priority to you. It's not. Number two, you're selfish as fuck. Number three, you believe in fairy tales. I want you to really think about this. And sometimes when someone pulls a thought out of your head and they give it back to you, you go, oh, now that the air has hit it and it's turned green, that shit looks crazy as it sounds. You're asking someone you don't want to pay, you don't want to do anything for, to help you earn a significant amount of money and only be paid in your undying gratitude. Now, let's flip it. I came to your house, and I said, feed me. And you cool with that. You're cool with that. She was like, hey, I got some leftover steak. And you're like, no. I don't want steak. I want that, I want that stuffed flounder and some garnishes. And could you get a certain Merlot? And they sell it in Publix. So not only am I coming to your house and I'm turning down the good food that you are offering me. The steak was awesome. Just got to heat it up, and they'll be, sometimes leftovers are better than the main dish because they seasoned a little bit more. But no, I don't want that. I want you to go to the store, spend money, cook, and then feed me exactly what I want at the right temperature, at the right time, with a mildly chilled Merlot. Because Now, if someone came to your house with those requirements, what would you think? They're fucking crazy. Yes, that's the problem. People don't think. Don't think. So, number one, money's not a priority. Number two, you're selfish as fuck. Number three, you are living a fantasy. You're living a fantasy. This is why you're broke. To make money with no money requires that you give some type of equity of your life. The more unskilled, the more unremarkable services or talents that you have, the harder you will have to work. It's there. It's possible. It's on the table. But the thing is, many of you can't get it through your fucking thick skulls that you got to work. You have got to work. There is no Superman, no Spider-Man. There's no Incredible Hulk. There's no fucking Thor coming to save your ass. If you do not put your ass to work, whatever support system you have, whatever people are helping you, when they're in the position where they can't help you, you will perish. The average woman who receives significant child support, once that child support is over, enters into poverty because they become dependent on the money of other people. This is why you have generation after generation of people on public assistance. Generation after generation, because they have been taught that someone's going to do something significant for them. I'm sorry. I don't care if it's $300-400 a month. You get a check for doing absolutely nothing at all and you didn't earn it. That's significant. And we got these people who are wondering why they can't move forward, why they can't make the money they want to make, because it's not a priority. It's not on the table. It's not thought about. And I know you're going like, I think about not having money all the time. See, once again, that goes to that selfishness. You think about you not having money. You do not think about what you can do for another person. It's all about you. And as long as it stays in that little circle of you, real tight, money can't get in. Money, it can't get in. No, it can't get in. You got to start thinking about bigger things other than yourself, other than your needs, other than your selfish desires and wants. Long time ago, when I used to think like you, and this is why I'm being so hard, because I know the mindset, because I used to have it. I used to go to the store and pull out these magazines and see these fancy ads, and there's this slick guy in front of a nice audio system. Because see, back in the day, an audio system, if you had a nice audio, that was a sign of prestige and status, your audio system. And hey, if you sent me $29.99 next month, you could be driving a Ferrari. I was that fucking stupid. I was there because, see, when you are selfish, when you only think about yourself, and when you don't place money as a priority and you don't think, it's very easy to be seduced by anything. If I had sat back and said, why would someone sell me how to make millions of dollars for $29.99? I would have been like, this is some bullshit. But I didn't think like that because I was desperate. I wanted that shine. I had that thirst. Yeah, I wanted to be like, Mr. Big Stuff, Mr. Big, rolling around in a nice car, living in a nice neighborhood, doing all that stuff, but never really thought about the process of how to get that stuff. And that's where you are. I have people who are mad at me on this channel because I just don't sit and talk to them for hours and hours and hours, giving them good information for free because they had simply asked for it. My daddy told me I was special. My mama told me I was special. Yeah, they did. You're special to them, no one else. If your ass can disappear for a day and nobody's blowing up your phone looking for you, that should tell you what you've done for other people. If you can die in your apartment and nobody comes looking for you within the days, they find your ass when the rent wasn't paid, or they find your ass in the house when the mortgage wasn't paid, and they come in and you mummified, that tells you your service to humanity. If you're in a position where you could just disappear for weeks and nobody's looking for your ass, you ain't really done shit for nobody. And that's why you're broke. That's why you're broke, and you will continue to be broke as long as you continue to think like that. I know you came here and you saw the title and you're just looking like for some simple quick, really, really easy solutions to solve your complex ass problems. There's going to be a solution section to this video, and you'll have to pay for it. I know it's horrible. That's called being in the real world. That's called being an adult. Yeah, I'm going to give you some serious solutions. I'm going to take you from point A to point B, how to go from broke to some money, from some money to okay money, from okay money to, oh, now I have the money I want. Notice the steps. Broke to some money to okay money. There's steps. Many of you want to just leap over all of that and get to the money you want. Don't serve nobody. Don't help nobody. Don't do shit for nobody else but your selfish ass. And you keep wondering why it's just a party of one. Why nobody gives a fuck about you. Yeah, that's the reality. If you are broke and all your friends are broke, and you know, if you're black, or you want to go with African American, then you're going to like, well, let's institutionalize racism. I'm going to say bullshit. It's because you do not place a priority on earning money. You don't. You're hoping to earn money. You're hoping someone to come in and save you because, see, this is how I look at slavery. I look at the brutality. I look at the horror of slavery and the people who survived that as being some extremely tough motherfuckers. You can walk in the room and have your dick cut off because you said the wrong thing to the wrong person. You can walk in the room and see someone raping your wife. You had to deal with that shit. You learned how to read an elementary book and somebody coming to your house to kill you because you learned how to read. The people who survived that are strong. They were not niggas or niggers. They were neither one of those people. They were strong black folks. That's my legacy. That's the folks that I want to make proud. None of this other bullshit. So if those folks had to do that just to learn how to read, and you sitting around with an iPhone, you're sitting around with an iPad, you got air conditioning, internet, you're playing bullshit games, and you sitting around broke and you wonder why, it's because you don't give a fuck. So don't give me that. Miss me with that bullshit. Well, it's institutionalized racism. No, it's you are fucking lazy. You don't really, and it's one thing to be ignorant, because I'm ignorant to a lot of stuff and I have to learn many things in life. But it's another thing to purposely stay fucking ignorant. If you don't know, you don't know. That's cool. But if you continue to not know year after year, decade after decade, that's on your stupid ass. That's you. I mean, seriously, that's you. And as someone who got online early, 2000, started selling on eBay, started selling on Amazon, had my own websites, I learned you can win with racism. Racism isn't going anywhere. Racism is a problem, but it shouldn't be your problem. It should be someone else's problem. What I mean by that is you should not wake up going, well, you know, the man is not going to let me win today, so why should I even fucking try? You're a fucking low expectation having ass loser. Understand, I'm not going to marginalize the problems of racism, but I'm not going to marginalize your low output ass either and go, oh, that's okay. No, we live in a world of unbridled opportunity, but many people are not taking advantage. Now, if you want to go from no money to some money, stay tuned. I'm going to give you that information. I'm going to give you a step-by-step process, and we're going to have some fun with this. We have access to so much technology and knowledge and apps, and you can just tweet someone that you appreciate, that celebrity, something, chances of them answering back are pretty high. It's just off the cuff. It's just off the dome. I was doing some research and I saw this debate about people saying something that I know to be true is it's impossible. It must be a scam. It has nothing to do with none of my stuff. There's so many people that don't even want to try. I mean, seriously, are you afraid of failure into totally someone else? And they were just going off and going off and off and just said, oh, it's got to be a scam. It's got to be this. There's no way. And I was having a conversation with some people who have seen this because I've seen it. And it was just like, mindset's everything. Mindset's everything. You could Facebook someone, because this is my favorite thing. I like to go ahead and Facebook a lot of my favorite authors and have conversations. And a lot of them, some of them get overwhelmed, but a lot of the ones that wrote books like years ago, nobody's talking to them. And I just find it like really interesting that I can just get on my keyboard, get in contact with someone I've appreciated for decades, and we're having this conversation. It's amazing. And I just started to think, why are people regressed? I'm beginning to think that information doesn't mean anything to most people because there's a great deal of it. There's a ton of it. It's out there. It's available. There's so many things you can do, so many things you can build. I mean, I'll just tell you, when you go through my training, my courses, I give you 5 to maybe 25%. I'm a map. That's what I am. I'm a map. I've got some things, figured out, some landmarks. I can say, hey, you can go over here, you can go over there, you can do this, you can do that. And I can dramatically cut your learning curve down on certain things. However, it still requires that you put forth work. And I've been having this conversation with a lot of people that are somehow just under the impression that everybody that is successful had some super secret Saiyan advantage that they don't. And when I look at it, because I did a video recently, like I got started on YouTube, I will show you, and I just figured it out because I thought I had two views my first day. I didn't. That was me. They were counting. I was counting because I looked at it twice. I did not have any views my first day. Nobody knew I existed. And then I put another video up and another video up. And this went on for days and weeks. And now you have people who feel that if they do not have immediate success, that the thing is rigged and it's a scam and it's there's something really, really wrong. And I'm, as a person, just a little background, I dropped out of college. And I was a special ed kid from first grade to sixth grade because I have a speech, whatever the hell it is. See, there it is. It's acting up. A speech impediment. I have a speech impediment, and I'm mildly dyslexic. Was tested and stuff. However, because my grandmother, thank her very much, taught me how to read before I went to school, I never got behind. I couldn't really speak correctly. But I was in some ways ahead of my peers because back then, and I don't know how they do it now, but if you've got any type of learning disability or you can't speak correctly, you get tagged. And I got tagged. And what's funny, as I look back now, because I went to this place called Adamsville Elementary, and there was these trailers and there was these paraprofessionals out there. And I would go there every day and sit with them and flip flashcards, and they would work on me with files and stuff. This went on for 6 years. And I think that many of you who haven't had such difficulty or such roadblocks or struggles are not accustomed to the real face of success, which is struggle. Success is struggle. Your success isn't when you built the company, you sold it, and you cashed out and you got no. Your success was when it was 2 a.m. in the morning, you were working on that line of code, or you were working on that presentation, you had no money in the bank, shit was dire, and you pressed forward. That's when you became successful. At that moment when it was dark and nobody was there, there was just you and Scooby the cat, and you just kept pushing and pushing, and you got up and that line of code didn't work. And then you didn't get the deal because your sales presentation sucked. Then you went back and it was 3 o'clock in the morning, you did it again, and then you wrote another line of code, or you wrote another line in your book, or you did another film. You did all this stuff, and it failed, and then you're like, okay, well, fuck that, I'm gonna do it again. And that's success. That is success. If you can do that, you're successful. Many people look at success as the end goal, but you can't get to the end goal without going through the struggle. And this is something that I'm talking about because I see so many people who literally, I mean, and I sell information. I've got my own platform and everything, and I'll just tell you straight up, if you wake up every day and devote 1 hour, one hour to learning something from somebody for free, and see that, let's just talk about that. In your mind, it's free because you did not pull out your wallet or your credit card or slide it in your mind. And see, that's the thing, it's not free. So if you spent, let's use the word spent, an hour of your time every morning, which is a cost because your time is the most valuable thing that you have in life because you don't get any more minutes. You get to a certain age and you die. So your time is finite. It ends. When you spend, which is currency, your time, spending your currency, that's you're spending a resource. So it's not free. You just didn't pull out your wallet and use your credit card or pay cash for it. But in your mind, because you did not use struggle cash, and I'm going to talk about that in a minute, that you felt it was free, and also because it was free in your mind, you did not value it. Because I've experimented with this for 6 years. I've got people who have paid me $25 and bugged the shit out of me 8, 9, 10, 12 emails, and I've got people who've given me 10 grand that I had to actually pick up the phone and say, "Are you okay?" I mean, okay, we need to be working on. Well, what's going? Oh, well, my mother got sick. Oh, okay, well, we'll reset the next month. No email, nothing, and it was just like, what's going on? But for those of you who fear failure in 2015, and when you use struggle cash, because, and I'm going to actually say I understand how you feel, because let's go back to the concept that your time is a finite resource and it's the most valuable thing you have. So you have traded your time for struggle cash. So you spent 8 hours of your life, really 9.5 to 12 when you factor in the commute to work, when you factor in the lunch hour, when you factor in all this other stuff, and when you factor in doing things outside of the scope of the job to prepare for the job, and you make, I don't even know what average income is. And I'm just going to say, what, $30 an hour? I would say middle income. I'm not going to say that's average. Say, no, let's make it 25. 25, that's $50,000 a year. So you have traded 160. Let's go ahead and add the other hours on. So you've traded 200 hours a month of your life for 50 G's, which is 2,400 hours of your life. So when you look at spending any of that struggle cash on anything, because you're so close to it, because you literally earn that money with blood, sweat, tears, oxygen. So it's real hard for you to part with it because that's your struggle cash. You can't. You struggle to get that. You spend a lot of precious resources to get that, and it's hard to part with. So, and this is something else. Like when I'm talking to a small business owner, or I'm talking to someone that's more successful, the small business owner, that wallet is that close. And when you're talking to them, it's like right there, because they're still in that struggle cash mode. But when you talk to someone who's removed themselves from that, and it's not necessarily how much money they make, it's mentally where they are at the moment. Because I got one client who doesn't make a lot of money compared to what he spends, but that's his goal. He's just trying to stay free. He does not want to build a billion-dollar company. He just wants to make what he's doing more efficient to free up more of his time, because he's a time ninja. He was, he built a company. He was doing the 80 hours a week. He was doing that. Then he got down to where it was, 50, and he's like, and he saw a video and it's like, hey, how can I get this down to 25 hours a week? And I think he's at 35, and he's making a little bit more money. And see, his goal is totally different from many of y'all. He's not trying to ball out. He's just saying, if I can make the same money and cut my hours, that's a win. And see, he's an evolved person, whereas someone else would be like, I paid you $5,000. I need to be making $200,000 off that. Otherwise, I just wasted my money. And it's just really, really interesting on how when you talk to people where they are, and I've just learned to identify people like, here on YouTube, the resale community, that's nothing but struggle cash. That's one of the reasons that they demand amazing information, content for free, because they have to have it. It's part of the survival. I mean, they gotta have it. I mean, it's imperative. They gotta have that shit because it's dark. I mean, I see people like, hey, and there's something else, and just for me to you, stop saying this. I don't want to make a lot of money. I just need a lot, so I can pay my bills. Okay, what about your kids in their future? You are not going to be able to provide for them or set them up doing that shit because you struggle and struggle cash, and your days are filled with struggle when they don't have to be. Because I see a lot of that, as if making substantial sums of money is evil and diabolical, and you're gonna change, and you're gonna start. You're not gonna have your friendly chuckle. You're gonna have that laugh. You're gonna become like Gargamel from the Smurfs and shit. That's just your own inefficiencies and inferiority complex running around the room screaming like, I don't think I can do it because I fear failure. That's what that is. Because I'm going to tell you, once you get past struggle cash mentality, and start to build yourself, and once again, this isn't about being a millionaire, or it's not about being a billionaire. It's about being time rich. That's it, time rich. I got people who want to pull me back into the matrix because, I mean, I'll just tell you, I got members of my family who think I'm a criminal. Like, let me get this straight. You sit at home and you talk on the internet and people pay you for that shit? There ain't no job for no real man. You need to be in the coal mine, or you need to be working at the steel plant, or driving a truck or something, earning a real wage, doing a hard day work for a hard day, honest dollar. That internet stuff, that's just kind of, it's suspect, son. It's suspect. I mean, and that's one of the reasons that there's one side of my family I just don't fuck with anymore. And I got a cousin we talk about it, and she's like, why are you? I was just like, there's no use for people who will betray me in my circle of life. There's none. Yeah, we got the same last name. So what? It means nothing to me, because that's another thing. You're gonna, as a business owner, and that's something I think a lot of people are struggling with, really, that they've got fucked up family, and you've always been told there's nothing better than family. All right, I'm going to give you some new definitions. There's nothing better than a great family. If you got a great family, you got an awesome family, you got a wonderful family that's not rife with dysfunction, then okay, yeah, that's a beautiful thing. And everyone doesn't have that. When you meet someone who has that, and you go in and you see it, it's a beautiful thing. But once again, everyone doesn't have that. And due to the proliferation of single-parent households, a lot of people aren't going to get that. It's not happening. So if you got the fucked up family, and you don't have to, like me, like I said, there's only one half of the family I deal with. My 97-year-old Aunt Bunny called me last night. We talk, and some other people talk, but they get me, and I get them, and, she works on me. But essentially, part of your success is realizing that everyone is not going with you. I don't care how mad you want it for them. I don't care how much you feel that you owe it to them. They are mentally not prepared to move where you are. And once they reach a certain age, unless there's some just life intervening event, they're probably going to stay that way until they take the big dirt nap. Regardless of how much you love them, regardless of how much you want the best for them, they're just not going. They like what they're doing. They want to stay there. And you got to really, really compartmentalize that. So next time someone tells you there's nothing like family, you say, you're right, there's nothing like a great family. Put a qualifier in there. I will say something else. The people with the most education make the most money. 100% true. Now, that brings us to the question, what is education? If you're like, well, the people who make the most money have a college degree, then you go empirically and look at all these folks who have a graduate degree, some have doctorate degrees, and their asses are working at Starbucks. That equation does not factor out. Now, if you go with the people like me, once again, I dropped out of college, but I never stopped learning. I just found this thing that's called ASMR, audio supplement, which is fascinating the shit out of me. It's a little weird because it's all of these really attractive women, and they're like, "Hey, how you doing?" They're speaking in the soft voice and stuff, and I'm just like, "What is this?" And being intellectually curious, I'm reading up on it. I'm looking at it because it's just astounding to me that this thing even exists. I never knew it existed, but that's part of my learning trajectory. I love learning new stuff. I learn, meeting new people. I got clients in Israel, and sometimes after we talk, I'm like, "So what's going on in Israel?" And they tell me, and then I learned that you just don't immigrate to Israel. There's a process where they bring you in. And there's just so many things that you get to learn when you remain intellectually curious and don't think, "Well, I'm grown." And so that's another reason that you fear failure. You're grown. Grown means you're done. There's no more. And whenever I would meet a chick and she used that word, "I'm grown," I would like, okay, either you're just pussy or I'm going to leave you the fuck alone because there's no way I can build with you. You cannot build on something that's already, built. When they want to build a new building in the space of one building, what do? They demolish that building that's there. They have to because they can't build onto it. They can't build with it. They have to get rid of it. That's why these implosions where they crumple down the building and it falls in on itself. That's why you can't build with something that's corrupt or deficient or doesn't have your perspective. You can't build with that. And that's something else. Another reason people fear failure. I think you inherently know where you are and what you're dealing with, but it comes to a point where you're not brave enough to claim the life that you could have. You take the life that is given to you or the life that you were presumed that you should have. And that's what happens. So when you are going to duel and debate with people about things that they know to be fact, they're going to think that you're an idiot. And I've learned not to even get into it and say it. Every now and then I'll let loose. But when someone tells me that you can't make money on YouTube or using YouTube or it's only for kids, and I'll be 49 this year, and I'm just sitting there like, but that's not true. That's not true. That's not true. Oh, yes, it is. Yes, it is. Who told you? Well, my mama and my uncle Robert. My uncle Robert said, that internet ain't nothing but some fuckery. It ain't nothing but the devil. And the devil is a liar. You got that shit going on. And I was just like, oh, man. I will tell you, I got one uncle who was just as fucked up as he want to be, but he was funny as hell. I'll tell you a dirty story he told me. We were at a barbecue, right? And he just called me over and he said, "Hey, let me talk to you." I was like, "Oh, what's going on?" And we called him Freeman. And he's like, "You're getting up in there, you got a little hair on your chin. I need to tell you a few things. Whatever you do, don't you eat no pussy." And at this point, I was at that age where I was a little awkward. No, not a little, extremely awkward, and was afraid of girls, 100% terrified. So he was talking about something that was like 8, 9 levels way above my comprehension, and I was just like, whoa, 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 where did this come from? Then he went on. It's like he had this what was it, Pabst Blue Ribbon, I think. He took a swig and he was like, "Yeah, real men, they don't need that to why. You remember that, okay? You remember that." And I said, "All right, I'm going to remember it, Freeman. I will remember it. Thank you." Then later on, when I had a better understanding, I looked at Freeman's life. Freeman worked at the Jim Danny Grits factory in Birmingham. He drove a Cadillac, had a house. He was probably 290, 300 pounds, and he's like 5'5", I believe. And he died prematurely, and he died alone. So when I was growing up and looking back, I started to consciously say, well, that advice didn't work out too well for him, so I'm just not going to follow it. And that's all I got to say on that. But essentially, you've got to learn how to filter out some of this advice that's given in love, because he didn't mean no harm. He's just trying to help me out based upon his level of understanding of life. He was just trying to help me out. He was just, he's a good dude, but I just looked at how he chose to live his life based upon his philosophy, ideals, and concepts, and I didn't want that life. And I'm not going to say it was a bad life, but dying alone, that's that's not how I want to go out. But hey, some people want to do it that way, and that's just part of filtering. And another thing about being afraid of failure in 2015: stop taking advice from people who don't have shit. A motherfucker that doesn't have anything, and I'm not talking money. You can meet someone who has no worldly possessions, but he's traveled all over the world and he's rich in knowledge. You can meet someone who doesn't have a lot of money, but they have special talents. But when you meet someone who does nothing, they're not remarkable in any regard, any shape, fashion, but they got all this advice for you that doesn't work for them, do not listen to them. That's like broke people telling, like, this is how you get rich. I have never seen so many broke people who have no concept of how money works, monetary system works, international finance works, how corporations work, Ellis, who have all of this advice from me about how I should run my business. When you lift up the skirt and you see that the bones are clacking together because there's no meat on them, because the skirt's got a big ass hoop to make you think there's hips and shit under there, but they bony as hell because there are no resources. I'll tell you another little story. I stayed in this girl. She was an attorney. And I thought she was balling out of control. Nice jag, all this other stuff. Now, I had learned the art of keeping my mouth closed about my money. We go out and everything, we do stuff. Later on, after we broke up, I found out so much shit. How she got to Italy, was on the buddy pass, just so many things. And I think that $280,000 student loan debt, that was another detriment to me, because I was like, ooh, well, it's nice knowing you, but I gotta go. I was just sitting there like, and there was just advice that was given to me from that person. And I was just like, I can't listen to that. I can't listen to that. And, I even go a little deeper. Like, can I teach you how to be a billionaire? Nope, I'm not a billionaire. Can I teach you how to be time free? Damn, Skippy. That's what I'm doing right now. It is what, 8:30 in the morning. I got up. I did my thing, meditated, consumed quite a bit of water, because that's the new thing I'm trying to drink as much water as possible early in the day to stay hydrated, because I got a problem with being dehydrated. And then I'm going to start working, because, I get to do what I choose to do with my time. And that's how I want it. I think, once again, time is the greatest resource we have. And for the most part, I've managed to, last 7 years, pretty much keep it where I'm just doing what I want to do. And to me, that's just the greatest thing. I mean, you may not want this. You might want to be a billionaire. I can't help you. You might want to be you might want to start a company in another country. Possibly can help you there. But the thing is, when you're listening to people, listen to yourself. And if you're talking like someone who is terrified of success, ask yourself why. And I can tell you one part, because it's going to require that you change, and it's going to require that you make certain personnel decisions in your life. In the human resources department of your life, you will start to make some different assignments of positions. People that were permanent hire, they're going to go to independent contractor or per diem or temp, which means you holler at them when you holler at them. Oh yeah, it's just don't put in the comments, hey man, I need to holler at you. That's not going to work. Even though, yeah, I have a lot of time and I'm chilling and stuff, I am not going to talk to someone who has no agenda. Yes, I want you to have an agenda. I want you to be contrived. If you want to talk to me, contact my assistant and go through that, because that's one of the things that I started doing, and it's really, really reduced a lot of email clutter, inbox chaos, because I understand where you are. I was homeless. Let me just say that again. I know what it's like to be broke. I know what it's like to be homeless. I know what it's like to not have any food, to have your stomach all wrapped up in knots because you haven't eaten in 3 days. I know what that feels like, so I know what the struggle is. But for you to assume that I am going to adopt your problem, because you have a problem, with a higher level of rigor than you, then you're out of your damn mind. And that's another thing. Because I did the video. We need to talk. If you are not looking at your circumstances with the high level of effort, concentration, why the fuck should I care? That's your problem. Let me go once again. I was homeless. I had to get out that shit by myself. I had one friend who's still my friend to this day who visited me in that bullshit. One. I had other people like, hey, I'll holler at you. We can meet up somewhere else, but I'm not coming over there, not to that neighborhood. One. One friend. And I have to be grateful to have that because those were brutal days. And with your problem that you have, you've got to really, really, really start looking at why you have it and why you're afraid of success. There's a lot of work that you have to do because, like I said, I just changed all my training around because there is a certain rudimentary level of expertise you need to have that you can get for free. And you can study online and get all this stuff. But see, this is what that's going, and I use the word free just to mess with you because you're spending your most important resource, which is time, but you don't even know how to organize the information. Once again, I never stop learning. I read a book about super learning, how to learn better. So there's many of them out here. You've got these websites, you've got these YouTube videos, but you don't know how to learn. You don't know how to perspective, put stuff in a certain place, then take that information, formulate a plan, and put it into action. So you're very good at acquiring knowledge. Your brain's just crammed with it, but you can't apply it. And if you apply it, you don't apply it with the right way. And that's where I come in. I'll give you a plan. I'll give you a way to make this thing happen a little quicker, which was still going to be some time. But that's the whole thing, because this is the reason I'm doing this whole hangout, is I see that so many people who are really, really smart topically, but when it gets down to the deep brain level, it ain't there. Because that shit hurts. Thinking, planning, stressing, going over that stuff, that shit is work. It is mental work. When I'm like doing that stuff, after about an hour or two, I have to go take a walk because my brain's like on fire. But if you don't think like that and push yourself to thinking where you get headaches, you're not pushing your brain as hard as you could. Just saying. So with that, I'm going to end this. Wish you a good day. And yeah, I'm going to make a deal for the 10 people. Yeah, well, no, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to do something different. There is a new platform that I've built. And you can either buy the class, or you can buy the whole platform. 10 people. What I'm going to do, and there's a time limit. I'm going to be uploading Disruptive Money, or parts of it. It's going to take me a while. I will give you 50% off. However, you can't put this in the comments. And you must buy, because I'm going to put an expiration date on the coupon. So just send Amy, it's like I saw Glendon's in the video offer on Disruptive Money. I want 50% off. Disruptive Money, the course is $299, so it's going to be $150. And she'll send you in a link. And it's going to have like a very short time period, like maybe hours. So hours after you get it, if you don't buy it, it's just going to disappear. So with that, have a good day, and I will see you in the next session. Oh, okay, now moving on to accountability, because as you heard in the first part of this video, I was out walking and it just hit me. I was like, I need to get this down. I need to get this down right freaking now. And I put it together, and that's it, because it's not about the money. I have talked to people who would not even think, will blow $200, $300, $400 on a pair of shoes or purse, and I'm talking about men and women, and will not blink. They'll see these shoes, and they're like, oh, that That is the shoe of life. That's the purse of life. And they'll pull out the credit card, won't they? And gimme. And they have it. But every day, I get emails like, hey, is it worth it? And I've developed a new mindset. It started about the middle of last year. There are too many people that really like what I do for me to even worry about folks who don't. I mean, seriously, there's way too many. I mean, the numbers are like, phew. So, hey, if it doesn't work for you, if I didn't do a good enough selling job to you, have a nice life. That's pretty much what it is. Now, for those of you who really like it, understand, hustler mindset is totally different. Just to give it to you in a nut, because I get these questions. It's like, is it like this program or is it like that pro? No, it's not. The hustler mindset is predicated on my life. Just like your life is totally different from my life. This can't be like anyone else's program. It's not modeled after anyone else's program. I'm not a member of a lot of stuff. Most of my information comes from books, audio courses, and specific individuals who, for the most part, were never online. So the online component that's what's made my storage auction business exceptional, because I embraced technology when most people did not. Now, the difference in the hustler mindset is mentality. When I put it together, this was the original plan. I'm going to put this together, $25 a month. We're going to have two components, roughly an hour and a half a week. One about the mental aspect, the mental gym, mental pimping. Then an actual exercise. That was it. That was the plan. That was what it's going to be. Then, bam, all these people signed up, and I was like, okay, man, I got to increase my game. So I started adding stuff. I put some stuff in, some stuff worked, some stuff didn't work. And, as I put out on a Skype call one day, I was like, you guys are the guinea pigs. Oink, oink, you guinea pigs, and everyone laughed. But that was the reality of it, because this has exceeded my expectations. I didn't think that it was going to be this big. Really didn't. So with that, the hustler mindset, first and foremost, is a way for you to get your mind straight to be successful in all areas of your life. Not just internet marketing, not just business, not just resales. And like the store, someone referred to me as the storage auction guy, which for the most part I am. But I've changed the channel page, and I'm a business consultant in the business development, because pretty much since 2009, that's what I've been doing. I haven't bought a unit. Okay, I have bought some units under the table and through people, but it's been about 2 years. But actually being hard, firm, really in the game, early 2009. That was it. It was a wrap then. So we are like at the 4-year mark that I've really been out of that game and more into helping people get in the game or increase their business. Another thing with the hustler mindset, for years, this comment has littered my YouTube wall consistently. Hey, I love the stories, but I'm not interested in storage auctions. I love the business advice, but I'm not interested in storage auctions. Hey, when are you going to put together a separate hustler mindset group? This went on for about 2 years before I did it. So the market was there for the hustler mindset, but I was just dealing with these production companies and fighting with people online and just doing all kind of stupid shit. Then one day I just woke up and said, look, you need to make a decision. What are you going to do? Because unlike many people, and someone put a comment, is like, what are you happy about, Dave, saying it's fake? Your book sales are going to go down. Dude, my book sales were going to go down anyway, because people were moving away from going out to auctions. The cat's been out the bag for 3 years now. People know what it is, and what Dave did just confirmed what many people already knew and disappointed a large segment. So I knew this was coming. Honestly, I didn't expect for it to go on this long. I really did. I mean, seriously, I was just like, every month that went by, I was like, wow, this is really going on. It's really going on. Now, this is the cool thing. This is what I wanted to do from jump, but like I tell you, sometimes you have to take advantage of the opportunities as they are there versus what you want them to be. I mean, it was just there. I had created the YouTube channel, wrote the book. I had a 14-month lead time on the TV shows. I would have been stupid to just like, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to do something else. I mean, seriously, it was just like, hey, people were like throwing money at me. I mean, come on. You would have did it too. But now we're at the point where I'm doing a pivot. There will still be storage auction stuff. Let me go ahead and just explain to you what's going to happen with Storage Auction Shogun. Storage auction advice for non-wimpy people. I have, just remember, I told you, 85 hours of content here on YouTube. Well, I probably have another 20 hours of content that I have not released, not publicly, maybe in group sessions, whatever, that I'm just going to release in Sparta over a period of time, and another set of content and some storage auction stories and some storage auction videos that would just go on Shogun. I mean, it's probably going to take me a year to finish that, just to put that stuff there. So there'll be stuff there, and at the end of the year, it'll just be Storage Auction Shogun, 400 or 500 pages of content, and bam, you can buy stuff. In the meantime, in the between time, I am moving harder and harder and harder to go forward with Sparta, because it's personal development. This is something that I've been a member of most of my life. I bought buku tapes, because this is the thing. Like I said in the audio section, when you make an investment in yourself with the right person, and I'm going to say something, I may not be the right person for you. I may not be. That's life, baby. I'm not mad at you, and you shouldn't be mad at me. But I will urge you, whether you get my products, but to invest in yourself, explore, because there's a whole ton of really awesome people out there. Buy their stuff and improve your life. Everything is not for everyone. It's like dating. I have what's called the 99% rule. 99% of the women that I meet are not the one. And when I really embraced that rule, I stopped becoming disenfranchised and upset with dating, because what was happening was just a natural occurrence of life. And then when you met that 1%, you had to be like, come here, girl. I got you. Hold on tight. Because that's the reality of it. It doesn't come along every day. It doesn't come along every week. It doesn't come along every month. It doesn't come along every year. For some people, it doesn't even come along every decade. So buy something. Invest. Get some of Tony Robbins' old stuff. Brian Tracy's stuff. Earl Nightingale. I've recommended Earl Nightingale hundreds of times on this channel, because Earl Nightingale changed my life. But that's the pivot. That's what I'm doing. It's going to be the hustler mindset. I'm going to run hard with that and continue to write my dirty books on the side. That's what I do. And there will be another blog, but it's going to be totally different. And let's talk about, succinctly, what is the hustler mindset? It's an ability for you to control you. That's the hustler mindset. The ability for you to control you, because most people are a slave to their impulses, habits, and desires. You flip that around, you change your world. Now, what is it? It's not internet marketing. It's not storage auctions. It's not Craigslist. It's a combination. Because the thing is, I'm going back to it, because the thing was Mental Mondays, and that was the mental component, strategies for you to change how you think. And then I just added a business component, because I thought it was like, hey, if I can throw something in here where you learn how to make some money, then you're essentially getting this course for free, which I thought was pretty cool. And I'm still working toward that aim. And for some people, it's happened. Now let's talk about the founders. Let's talk about the OGs of Sparta. That's so funny, since it's only 5 months old. They came in, they had faith in me, and everyone that came in as an OG, $25 a month for life, no matter what I do to Sparta, what I add, it's only $25 a month. Now it's $60 a month. And let me tell you what's on the development sheet. Some hot stuff. So next time it's going up, because this is my thing, and this is just me. I'm not trying to make it cheap to reach more people. I give a fuck about that. Seriously, I do. If I only had, and I understand, my benchmark was low. If I got 10 people a month, I was happy. That's what the goal was, 10 people a month. So now if I get, 200, that's all I need. I don't have to run all over the internet and get everyone and do all this stuff and deal with people I don't want to deal with. Because the thing is, when you pay money, it makes you accountable. You just can't keep paying this money and not doing anything. I've got Ed. I've got, Hustle Man. I've got all these people. I've got the Yacht Man in Sparta. And the thing is, I noticed that the energy is real cool. It's really, really cool. And I'm looking to make it even better and better and better. Now, it's not happening this month, but in one of the future months, this is one of the things on the development sheet. I'm going to teach people how to do videos because I've been on YouTube since 2009 and I know how to do videos, and I've learned what works and what doesn't work. And you can make a gang of money with a video that only has a few views. See, that's the thing. Everyone's been like, millions of views, thousands of views. No, 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 no. If you get the right views from the right people, a video that only has 200, 300, 400 views could make you $1,000 or more because it's targeted. And that's what the thing, because YouTube is becoming very large. All kinds of stuff's going on, and YouTube's going to be crazy in the next 5 years. I'm not going anywhere. I love YouTube. And then, that's going to be a component to teach people how to use YouTube and set up their own channels on their own internet property and assets. It's going to be huge. Huge, 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 because everyone's going to video. And also, I've got a killer interview coming up with my girl, Melissa. Oh my God. Her story is freaking awesome. She agreed, so we're going to do that probably in the next 4 to 6 weeks. All that stuff. And what's going to happen is there will be a video here for you people on YouTube, and there will be a certain section for Sparta, because Melissa is one of the smartest people I have ever freaking met. The girl started off as a picker going to garage sales, and she leveraged that into not one store, but 2. When I met her, was she 27, I think? And that was, she might be 34, 35 now, I think. You gotta ask her, But she still, and she did all this before she was 30, and she started as a teenager. So those teen pickers, those guys are on it, because I'm gonna tell her about you guys too. Because the thing is, that's what she started. She started in high school doing that stuff and leveraged it into, because she had one small store. Then her landlord would not renew her lease, so she was forced to go somewhere else. Then she ended up buying the building. And I remember she's like, this is scary stuff. It's like, it's a lot of money every month, but she weathered the storm. But that's a person who was a true picker that became a business person that owns a lot of stuff right now and employs several people. So awesome story coming soon. And also, another thing that's coming, if you're a member of Sparta, you can get it if you don't want it. It's going to be a business podcast. It's going to be a paid podcast. It's going to be a subscriber podcast, because one of the things is I talk to a lot of people, and I like talking to people who are about it, who want to do something. I don't care if you're just curious. Fuck you. Okay? Seriously, fuck you if you're just curious. I don't care. I don't want you on my team. I'm like going the Nick Saban. If you ain't a star or want to be a star, or you're not trying to pretend to be a star, I don't want you. And that's the reason for the pricing, because the pricing is just going to automatically qualify people. It's like, that's too much. You're out. And I don't even have to worry about this stuff. And I understand, since I've started charging, the craziness has come down. Since I stopped battling people on YouTube, the craziness has come down. All this stuff is gone away. And it's, making better decisions and serving people who want to be served. I can have the best cake in this spoon, and I can be like, here, here, here. But if you don't want cake, might as well have some shit in that spoon. I've learned that you have to feed the people that want to be fed. Everyone doesn't want to be fed. There's still people in the matrix. They're hooked up to the tubes, and they do not want to be released. They do not want emancipation. They don't want out the matrix. They want to continue on doing the same old, because the price of change is still too high. Because the only time that you're going to change as a person is when the pain of change is less than the pain of staying the same. As long as the pain of change is greater than the pain of staying the same, that's what you're going to have. So that's it. That's in a nutshell. That's what's going on with Sparta. A lot of cool stuff's coming up this year. Awesome freaking stuff. I got a project that I'm working on that I just think is going to be awesome once I shape it up, but I can't share it right now. But that's the deal. So if you want to be a member of Sparta, you want to get in and get some great content, some great information that will help you in your life and your business, the link's below. It will be open for a limited time, and then I'm going to close it again. And I'm going to tell you exactly what I'm going to do. I may offer it at the price before I raise it, because once I do these new enhancements, the value is going to go up. That's my whole thing. Bring the value up. I'm trying to bring you up here. I'm not trying to come down there to you. I'm trying to bring you up to life, to that place you want to be. You know, come up, not go down. No. And that's a new theme because I'm like, yeah, bring it up. Bring it up. So that's the deal. And I'll see you on the other side. Of this video, bullshit, context, expectations, accountability, and results. When I first started doing the information selling business, because that's what I do. I'm an internet marketer and I sell information. I did any and everything to get customers. I remember one of the first phone calls when I used to take phone calls from anyone, because I was trying to sell a product, and I needed more information on how to market that product. So all information was good. I remember this guy. He called me up, very nice fellow. We went back and forth, and then he asked me pointedly, why should I buy your book? What can it do for me that I can't do for myself? And I went ahead and explained that my many years of experience and the fact that I literally watch a few thousand people come out to the storage auction business and crash and burn because they had no idea what to do, no way to properly frame their business. And after about 15 minutes, there was a pause, and he said, I'm still not convinced. And I was like, well, that's all I got. But in the spirit of cooperation, I answered your questions, you answered a few of mine. And he was like, sure. So I went on and I asked him, how much money have you spent this month on things that reduce your financial position? Coffee, going out, drinks, clothing, stuff you really don't need, only want. And how much money have you spent on things that will increase your financial position? Money invested in your 401k, RIA, or just saving. And he kind of paused and he said, I really don't know. So I probed some more. And this is where being in a consulting sales position back in the day helped me. And after another 10 minutes, because at this point we're like 40 minutes on the phone, I threw out an estimate that blew his mind. So what you're telling me is you have mindlessly blown $500 to $750 on things that make you feel good or things that you want, and you've put no money away for things that you need or that will increase your financial position, but you want to sit here and dicker with me over a $39.95 ebook. And he wasn't really happy with me. I was like, okay, I get that. He never bought the book, but it always puzzled me. Recently, I had another conversation. I charge $150 per hour for consultation. And I'm on the phone with the client, and we're talking. And at the end, we went back and forth, and she said, some things I knew, there's some really good stuff I didn't know. And she said, what really scares the shit out of me? She was frank like that. And I was like, what? She's like, I paid you $150. I have all this information. I have to do something with it. And it scares the shit out of me. And it was like, boom, and the lightning and revelation hit me. It's not the money. You know, my products in terms of expense are not really expensive for what they do. It's the accountability. In a narcissistic, individual culture where people don't want to be accountable and always want to have endless options to strike their fancy, accountability is a scary, scary thing. That's why products that are super cheap and have no real accountability factor do quite well, because it feeds into that mindset. So essentially, if you have a problem, and understand, I do believe in personal development products. You've heard me speak of Lead the Field, Tony Robbins. I invested buku money in that stuff for the last 15 years. So I'm not just saying, hey, buy my stuff, I buy no one else's. But what I've noticed is that people have a sense of, I know it all or I can figure it out. And I'm going to tell you, no, you can't. Each time I make an investment in my business with the right person, everyone's not the right person, I see an immediate return. Because what you're doing is leveraging that knowledge into your business. You're getting past your learning curve. Now, on the thing of over the top, knock yourself off results. One of my mentors actually helped me with that a long time ago. And he said it. And he was one of the first people to urge me to get a subscription to Inc. magazine versus just buying it here and there. Because I've always read it, but I usually just bought it at the newsstand. And he's like, look, you get a subscription. You'll pay for a whole year what you're paying for 2 copies. And I was like, okay, that makes sense. And also understand, if you get one idea a month out of that magazine that helps your business, it's ridiculously cheap. You have to really learn what's value, what's worth, and what's meshes with your expectations based in the proper context. Because if you're expecting earth-shattering results from something that you really didn't pay earth-shattering money for, you're an idiot.
This is a common query that I get. How do you make money online? I'm going to give you something that you've never heard before. Most people date, pretty much, right? And have you ever noticed that people that are really good daters in the real life, you know, that guy that can go up and just talk to a girl in any situation, they do really, really well with dating in real life, so to speak. Now, these same individuals, they go online, they crush it, kill it, because being online is just leveraging what you already know how to do, if you understand me. It is just leveraging what you already know how to do. So typically, if you suck at dating in real life, the chances of you sucking at dating online are going to be pretty high. Now, the parallel between making money online and making money in the real world are very, very similar. And this is where a lot of people tend to mess up, because it's like, it's online, it's going to be easier, it's going to be different. There's all types of money systems. that you can make all this money with 2 to 3 hours work a week, which is bullshit. Essentially, if you want to learn how to make money online, you need to learn how to make money offline. If you become really good at making money offline, you can leverage your expertise, your new skill sets online and make more money, more money. And that's one of the things that a lot of people fail to understand. My background was in sales, where I had to knock on doors, cold call, pick up the phone and say, "Hello, Mr. Prospect. My name's Glendon. I know you don't know who the hell I am, but I want you to buy my stuff." I had to do that for years. It wasn't a few weeks. It was years of doing that. And in the beginning, this shit hurt. Rejection level was 90 something percent day after day after day. I mean, how many of you get up and go to work where you know you're going to get rejected every day? That was my life. And I mean, it got to the point I had to buy books, going back to, you're buying your education. I bought a book on cold calling. I bought a book on meetings. I bought a book on clothing. That's how I found Brian Tracy, because I actually sucked ass in the beginning. It was horrible. It was terrible. I did not want to go to work on some days because I knew the mental and emotional beatdown was coming. Then one day, and I remember it was Mike, he was on the other cubicle, and this guy hung up on me. He hung up on me, and I dialed him right back. Didn't think about it, just like, "Hey, for some reason we were disconnected, but I've got some good stuff for you." And the guy laughed, and I got the appointment. And that was my breakthrough. I mean, he had hung up on me. He had told me to go away in a very vigorous manner, and I called him right back, and I got in. What I'm telling you is, you're going to have to get your breakthrough, because most of the people that try to make money online fail on their own. That's why eBay is so popular, Amazon is so popular, Amazon FBA, because all of these platforms have built a huge traffic base. You just go there with the right products and you'll sell. And when I was in the sales world, that was called, you were a farmer. It was hunters and it was farmers. Hunters grabbed that spear like in 300, went to the pass and killed shit. Farmers cultivated and just took orders, order takers. That's what you're doing on eBay, Amazon, and whatever. I think it's a little different because you actually create something and you cultivate your own customer base. But with all of that, if you go through that hard route of learning how to make money offline, it's going to tremendously improve your ability to make money online. And that was one of the reasons that we were so successful. When we started the storage auction business, we immediately went online. But I had years and years of experience of talking to strangers, networking, and asking for money. Because, this is the internet. Yes, it's 2013, but there's a difference when you're not afraid to ask for the money. Most people are. That's why they kind of like the platforms, because you don't have to ask for the money. You present your product, you present your service, and they click the buy button. So you don't have to deal with the bam, vigorous, in-your-face rejection. And what I'm telling you is, you are shortchanging your business career, because all of the guys, Zuckerberg was a salesman. He had to sell that idea. In the beginning, people were like, huh? He had to sell that idea. He was a salesman. Steve Jobs, a salesman. Bill Gates, a salesman. If you do the research, you will see that many in the early days of corporate, Fortune 500, a lot of these guys were salespeople. They had to be. You cannot build a company from scratch and not be a salesperson. You're selling your product, you're selling you're selling the financial health to banks, you're selling the potential of doing an IPO to Wall Street. You are selling. And the better that you are at selling, the more money that you will make. It's a truism. You could go around like, no, 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 Glenda, no. No, I'm telling you. I want you to look at me. I have told you many times that I have failed in business. There was 5 of my first businesses. They were like part-time business, side hustles. And they just failed. Business 6 through 10 made money. And the thing is, you got to get your reps. And so many people are trying to avoid that because it's like, hey, there's this guy. He's 25 years old. He started this company. He's a millionaire. He didn't go through that. But see, you're missing something very, very critical about that. Because this is something I study. If you're 25 years old, you have a lot of things going for you. Frequently, you don't have living expenses. If you're 25 and under, frequently you don't have living expenses. If you're in college, you got student loans, whatever. You're not paying. You have a lot of time and resources to devote yourself to developing your product, web service, or whatever. Another thing that you have going for you at that age is you're in the know for what people in your age category are, what they like, what's hot. That's one of the reasons that these teenage girls who are still in high school, who are making 4, 6, 7, 8, 10, 12, 13, 100 grand a year from their makeup tutorial channels. They know what other girls like. They're tapped in. They are in that pipeline. They know exactly what they like. They know what they don't like. They know what to say. They have a huge advantage, and the internet allowed those businesses to be leveraged, but they're not the same because at some point, how many tutorials can you do? They're all not going to get makeup deals. They're all not going to get clothing deals. They're going to reach a saturation point, and we're not there yet. But it's going to be, oh, we saw her. What does this new girl have? So they're going to run into that problem. And even a lowly makeup tutorial person that knows what she's doing is going to probably pull down $1,000 a month to $1,500 once she gets her channel developed and she gets plugged in. Now that's a great, use of a platform, but it's really different because when you learn how to sell organically, you don't have to worry about what's going to happen because say you have a company and it doesn't, it runs a life cycle. You create a product, like take storage, my storage auction information business. It ran a life cycle. I mean, there'll always be people who will buy storage auction books or, get certain training. But the peak, I rode that peak like, the 100-foot wave off of the North Shore of Hawaii. Now, it's not even a wave. It's just kind of like some rough water here and there. It's over in terms. And I knew it was coming, but I prepared for it. So understand, when you learn how to make money organically offline, learn how to trend, learn how to really study stuff, you can make money online. Now, let's talk about people who make money purely online and they made more money than they ever made before. There was a guy by the name of Shoe Money, and there was a picture of him with this big ass check from Google AdSense. He was first. That's another thing. That's another way you can make money online. There's a new platform, I guess it's 6 months, 7 months old, Vine, where there's 6-second clips or people doing crazy stuff. There are people who join that platform early, build a huge follower, subscription base or followers or whatever you want to call them, because it's subscribers, followers, friends, whatever. And companies are going to these people and saying, hey, you have a lot of followers. We'll give you $10,000 if you will, do a promotional Vine for us. This technology, this platform, it's not a year old. So that's another way to make money online, is to jump on some new technology hard. Go ape shit with it. Because there will be other people who will come like, And that's one of the things about building something. There's a lot of folks on YouTube, because YouTube's getting older, and people who are over 30 are finding it easier to make money because the world's growing up. YouTube is only 7 years old. It was pretty much for just kids. Now it's for everybody. But those who got in early made a ton of money. And that's one of the things about, you know, making money organically. When you start a business, you have to do a shitload of research. There is no way around it. You can't just, you have to either before you start the business or once you get it started and then you find yourself in blind spots or you have deficiencies, you've got to, hey, I gotta amp up. I gotta increase my knowledge base. I got to figure this thing out. And next thing you know, you're up at 2 o'clock in the morning researching stuff. So when you go through that, when you learn how to learn, when you learn how money works, when you learn how credit works, you will build yourself a what I call a launch pad knowledge base where you can go off and start a business. And I highly recommend that if you have a job, start some kind of side business. It's going to teach you accounting, it's going to teach you how to keep track of stuff, money management, all kinds of things. You will learn that. And the important thing is for you to learn it before you get off into your full-fledged business. A little background on me. When those 5 businesses that I started and failed, I was in the military. I didn't just fail and come out with no money. I actually got my reps, built a knowledge base, did some stuff under the protection of a salary. Because, I got paid every month, every 2 weeks in the military. And then when I got out, I tried to start a lawn business. Didn't really work out because at that point, I was a get money hustler. It was just like, I'm going to do something to get money. I heard that people who had lawn care services made money. I didn't really investigate it or look at it from the way that I should have. But while I was doing that, I also was I had 3 months of my vacation time coming in. So after I ETS'd out of the military, I had 3 months where I was still getting my regular salary. So the second month when the lawn thing wasn't working out, I went out and I applied. And I also had a part-time job at Cobb General. And I went ahead and applied for a job and got hired like in a week because it was a medical specialty. So once again, I didn't just go out there with no skills, no resources, no other opportunities because that was something else. And that's a lot of people who were just like, I'm going to quit my job, I'm going to go out here and start a business, but you don't have any knowledge or skill sets in that area and you haven't built any. So your failure is going to be debilitating to a degree. You'll learn a lot and you might actually become a millionaire or billionaire after the experience because if you could pick yourself up after that event, you're a hell of a person. And I don't really believe that tough times develop character. I believe tough times uncover what's already there. Either you have it or you don't. That's what I believe. So understand, if you want to make money online, learn how to make money offline. Now, one of the things that I find to be a bane of my YouTube existence is all of these people who want to leverage off of my traffic with these bullshit money-making schemes. Hey, you just go to this website, you $2,000, $3,000 a month, and all you do is click some buttons. If something like that works, it's not going to work long term. And if it was so great, why are they giving it away? And, I may moderate some of these videos because there's certain ones that they key in on, and I'm just like, and they just find all of my money-making videos and they leave these crazy ads. I hate those people. But once again, that's the, making money online. Now, let's talk about the simplest way to make money online. eBay, Amazon, Etsy, other third-party sites, Amazon FBA. You go out and you find out what people want, what has a high ranking. You go out and get it at the lowest price you can, and you put it in the sales channel, and you will make money. The problem with Amazon FBA, Amazon, all of these places is they have a very unforgiving nature, which means if you fuck up once, really big, you're gone. So if all your eggs are in one basket, and I know that this has happened to several people, you're screwed. So you're going to have to do something else. And so I'll tell you, if you're going to do Amazon FBA and you're going to do eBay and you're going to do all these other places, also develop some other channels. Another way to make money online that no one ever talks about is giving interviews. There's a lot of people. I want you to think about it. What does Jay Leno do? He interviews people and tells jokes. What does Letterman do? He interviews people and tells jokes. Jimmy Fallon, he interviews people and tells jokes. You see the trend? Howard Stern, he interviews people, he tells jokes, he says a lot of raunchy stuff. You can make a ton of money interviewing people because they create the content. So that's another way. That's the reason podcasting is so hot. That's the reason YouTube is becoming hot, because you're starting to see more and more interviews, and you're starting to see more group hangouts, and because it provides different perspective and more robust content. There's a lot of ways to make money online, but once again, if you learn how to make money out there face to face with organic carbon-based life forms, you can kill it online. That was the reason that I was able to, in 2009, start a publishing company, and within 14 months was making livable income. Because I went through that before. I was like, okay, what do people need? Like, I'll just tell you the whole plan. Storage auction business. I knew all the deficiencies and blind spots of new people coming out to the storage auction business. I knew. I used to fuck with people. I used to run them up. I used to do all this stuff. I knew exactly what they needed to know to be successful. And I actually was the first one that really hit it hard. And then after about 14 months, 15 months, everyone else, a lot of other people jumped in, other websites came out. And, a lot of websites, actually I partnered with a lot of these people in the beginning. And then they realized that they had to give away the information that I was selling to get subscribers. And that's what they did. Don't hate the game. Don't hate the player. Learn the fucking rules so you can win. And that's just how it is. Because like I said, I knew the storage auction thing had an expiration date. It was like ice cream on a warm summer day. At some point it was going to melt away. But I knew that going in. And that's what you have to know about your businesses. Like, you could start a restaurant and that could go for generations if you have the right menu. There's so many ways to make money. But you still have to have that knowledge base. You still have to know how to sell. There's so many people, I am not selling, I don't want to sell, and you are fucking yourself, my friend, because once you learn how to sell, I'll give you an example. Once you learn how to sell, when I was doing the resellology thing really hard before I pivoted, I met someone when I was getting an oil change. This person turned out to be wealthy. I ended up a week later in her mansion. She didn't know me from that, but I sold myself. And she even said, wow, you really locked down that appointment. That was very slick. Because she was a business person. Her and her husband owned a big real estate company. But I was able to leverage my way into her living room from a conversation getting my oil changed. See, going back to the beginning of this video, what I said, if you know how to date very well in real life, you can crush it online. If you know how to make money in real life, talking to real people, not hiding behind an avatar, because if you notice, I don't hide behind anything. And every little thing I sign up is Glendon Cameron. You know who it is, and I use my real face because I know there's a power with that, and there's a trust that comes with that. A lot of people hide behind funny names and stuff, and they think they're being cute when they're up to bullshit, usually. I want to be anonymous because I may do something a little crazy, and therefore I don't want no one to know who I really am. Understand, watch out for people like that. Watch out for people like that. But when you develop that ability to sell you open the door to so many things. And that's one of the things. So stop trying to shortchange your education, just like, I'm going to jump online, I'm going to start making money. There is an opportunity cost to everything, and many people are trying to get around that opportunity, or go over it, or go under the opportunity cost and not pay it. But this is one fee that you must pay to be successful. Now, I want you to look at something else. A lot of people look at these younger people and they're like, yeah, sometimes you'll talk to a guy, he's 22, 23, and he's a programmer, he's making six figures, he's got all this stuff going on. but he's been programming since he was 12. He has a decade of experience. That's a lot of experience. You look at the age like, oh, and that's a lot of these guys on YouTube. That's a lot of these programmers. They started early, and now that they're 20 something, they have over a decade of experience. I'm going to tell you, my friend, a decade of experience in any field is a lot of freaking experience. And that's what you get paid on. Experience and the ability to do stuff. This whole notion of getting paid for potential, and mark my words, there's still a few companies that's like, hey, here's this guy. He has a BA from Harvard. We're going to bring him in. We're going to pay him $150,000 a year. That's going away. There's still places that do that. But mark my words, 5 years from now, 7 years from now, you're not going to be able to get a job at any company unless you have demonstrated ability to do the job. It's not going to happen. Look at what's happening in the NFL. Used to be a quarterback would come out of college and get 2, 3, 4 years to groom. RG3, instant impact. Russell Wilson, instant impact. Cam Newton, instant impact. Matt Ryan, instant. Do you see the trend here? No one is going to give you all of this money on your potential. They're going to give you money based on demonstrated and proven ability. You must be something, you must do something to make some money. No more of this, I'm just, no. Unless you're a chick and you're into modeling. That's still the thing where you could just, actually it's demonstrated. It's like if you're attractive, you get results. But this whole notion of, potential, and that's one of the reasons that the college experience is failing a lot of people. Because it used to be, it was a huge differentiator. It made you different. It separated you from the pack. Now, I put up an ad a few weeks ago for an assistant. I got 200 responses. Half the people had degrees for a $10 grunt position. Temporary at that. And so this is what I'm talking about. A lot of people are like, hey, Glenn, you're talking about all this stuff, and I'm actually the guy on the hiring side of the desk. I know what's going on. You're the guy that's on the side looking for a job. You think you know what's going on and you get mad because your information is flawed and it comes from an entitlement position. People like me on the hiring side are looking at you like, oh, fuck no, I'm not giving you X amount of dollars just because you have potential. I need you to be able to come to my organization, have an impact, make me money, do what you need to do, dance, get your ass, do whatever. And you have to be able to do it from day one, or I'm not going to hire you. I'm not unlike all these other companies out there. And a lot of people are not getting that message. So that's why you have to learn how to make yourself valuable. Then you can start making money online. Like right now, what's his name? Tim Ferriss, because he's made himself extremely valuable. He gets 100 G's to breathe on the mic. I want you to think about that. Tim Ferriss can just do one speaking event a month and have a 7-figure income. Just one, because he made himself valuable. He worked really hard. I have the 4-hour work week, and I didn't get sucked into it because to get to the 4-hour work week, he had a lot of 80 to 100-hour work weeks to create the system. And a lot of people miss that, and they don't talk about that because it's like, I'm going to just work 4 hours a week. No, you're not. No, you're not. But to really make money online, learn as quickly as possible how to make money offline, leverage your expertise, leverage your experiences to that online platform. Because, give you an example, in my book, Making Money A to Z, I laid out the business plan. Multiple sales channels. When we started, the upscale garage sale, flea market, Amazon, eBay, eventually our own website, warehouse, had stores. There were multiple selling channels. That was the reason I was able to rise in the ranks so quickly with all of those crazy people with money. You're not going to be able to make a lot of money online until you get your game tight. Really, really tight. And it's going to take some reps and some expertise in something that many of you are very uncomfortable with: risk. It's going to take risk. That's what I'm saying. So if you want to learn how to make money online in 2013, learn how to make money offline, you will be shocked once you start putting some things into play. Because what's happening is everyone's running online and it's leaving a lot of opportunities offline. Because understand, all online commerce represents 9 to 10% of all commerce, which means 89 to 90% of that stuff is still out here. So if you learn how to make money out here, you will crush it online. And out of that 10%, 9, 10%, guess who has 30% of that market? Amazon.com. Yep, Amazon has 30% of that online e-commerce market. 30%. Killing everybody, crushing everybody. So there's still a lot of opportunities out here. There's a ton of opportunities out here. You seize these opportunities, make money out here, and you can make money online. This is Glendon Cameron, and I'll see you on the good side.
And it was like, oh, that's it. But before we get into that, I got a special offer for you. Sometimes you have to make a way. You might be afraid, you might be scared, you might have no clue what the next step is. But you have to make a way. I have a client, we've been going back and forth for the last 10 months about eBay, Amazon, didn't want to do it, refused to do it. Just for full disclosure, eBay, Amazon, I consider them necessary evils in your business if you're a reseller. I mean, really, you just virtually have no choice for certain merchandise. So we went back and forth, and then I finally got down to the problem. Why they couldn't make it happen. Figured out what this guy's issue was. It was fear. When you're dealing with a fear mindset, it pushes away an abundant mindset. So we crunk it down. He's a consulting customer, does storage auctions. And I just told him one day, and I got pissed off. I was like, dude, you've got to make a fucking way. And the thing is, he is slightly illiterate. So when you start doing eBay, Amazon, there's listing. You got to list. You have to have really nice product descriptions. It's part of the deal. So he has this huge challenge. And I was like, okay, so that's the problem? He's like, that's the problem. All right. Well, making a way doesn't mean that you have to do it. I was like, you can get someone to do that for you. Many people with your situation have started companies and gone on to have fantastic lives because they got an advocate. So you need to find an advocate, someone you can be brutally honest with, and boom, get them to do this. Well, he had an advocate. He had a girlfriend. She wanted to do it. He pushed her out. He didn't want to admit that this was a problem. So once he got over his fear, then the possibilities of making a way just opened up because he got the girlfriend and the girlfriend got an employee and they trained the employee. So he didn't have one person. He had two people doing that thing that he couldn't do. Making a way isn't necessarily you doing it. See, that's one of the things that kills entrepreneurs. Me, I. It doesn't work all that way all the time. So as a hustler, you have to learn how to make a way. When I was going through an extremely tough period in my life, extremely tough, it was a brutal 3 years. My mother said, hey, you can come home. And in 15 seconds, I said, no, I'm not coming home. I was like, I need to figure this out because if I come back home, I may never leave again. I've seen that happen to people. And it isn't that these people are stupid. They don't have the capability They don't have the mindset and the will. Because understand, the difference between someone who's really successful and someone who is living on the streets is marginal. It's mindset. It's an immeasurable attribute of will, tenacity, and determination. So when we were having that conversation, I put myself on the spot because I didn't know what I was going to do. Had no clue. I woke up the next day, shit was still the same. And it took me some time, like I said, 3 years to figure it out. And it was one of the best things that I ever did for myself, because there are some people that don't like my blunt manner or my, the reason that you're not successful is because you're a lazy, sorry ass. You're a slack ass. The reason that you don't have the things you want in your life is because you're a scared ass little bitch. I know, because I was there. When you are in that space mentally, you push away success. Because as Buddha said, because, and this is the thing about studying my mentors, like, when I was listening to Earl Nightingale lead the field, and he was like, what you become, what you think about is what you become. That actually originated with Buddha. And when you're in a sorry state, all you think about is the sorry state. And that's why you have to learn how to push through what I call walking through mud. There's days that you are doing your best. It's just not happening as fast as you want. It's happening, but it's so incremental. It's like the hands on the clock. It's moving, but you look back 2 seconds later and it looks like it's in the same spot, but that's what I call walking through mud. And you'll have sometimes days like that. Sometimes you'll have weeks like that. Sometimes you'll have months like that. And the thing is, you have to keep pushing. Because what I learned is, when your back's up against the wall, you actually are partially defended. And then you're like, what are you talking about? Think about it. Your back's against the wall. There's only one direction that life can come to you, and that's from the front. You are in a perfect vantage point to see what's coming. When your back's not against the wall, you can be attacked from the back, you can be attacked from the side. But when your back's against the wall, all of that stuff dissolves. What's really important, what you need to do, is right there in front of your face. And I think that's one of the reasons that a lot of people, when they're faced with a personal crisis, excel and perform like they never did before. Simply put, the blinders were taken off, the minutia of life was removed, and the real of the real was just laid bare. Because if I did not go through that horrible experience, I wouldn't be talking to you now. Because, a lot of people's like, well, who's to say what would happen? Chaos theory, one thing leads to another. The butterfly flaps its wings in the Amazon jungle, and then there's a hurricane in North America. What you do now will affect your tomorrow. So pushing through this mud and keep going on, because there's a lot of you out there where things are horrible, because we are in one of the trickiest economies I've ever seen. I grew up during the gas crisis of the 1970s. I remember being in the car looking out the back window while we waited to get gas, because it was a gas shortage. There's all kinds of things that are going on in the world, and it's like two groups of people. There's a group of people right now that are being put upon, they're under so much financial pressure, there's under so much pressure, period, that they can't even see a better way. Their whole thing is, how do I make it to the next day? How do I get enough money to keep my lights from being turned off, or my cell phone from being turned off, or paying my car insurance so I don't get pulled over and go to jail, or, get my license suspended. People are facing these very real crises right now. And the thing is, it doesn't have to be like that. You have to learn how to hustle and make a way. That statement doesn't mean that you have it all figured out. Doesn't mean that you have it all together. Your stuff may be literally in flames. When I was a kid, we lived in a house and the roof was being repaired. So they had taken all the shingles off, and there was only the black rolls on there. And it wasn't supposed to rain, but back then, the weather prediction was notoriously wrong. So we're sitting there Saturday morning watching Scooby-Doo, eating Fruit Loops, and next thing you know, poosh, ceiling falls in. There's sheetrock, and there's all this black stuff all up in our cereal. And what my brother and I did is we just picked out the sheetrock and all the stuff, and we kept eating our cereal because that's the only thing we had. It's like when you're put in that situation where either we're going to do this, or we're going to do that, or we're going to perish, it becomes very clear what you have to do. And there are many people, I feel, who are extremely comfortable in their misery. And what I mean by that is, you have television, you have a car, you have a decent to nice place to live, but in the pit of your stomach, you're so unhappy. But you don't want to trade your comfortable misery for pure uncomfort. Because that 3-year period I went through, it was hell. I was uncomfortable in the day. I was uncomfortable at night. There was no place that I could go and find any comfort. So it was like, either you leave this space or you just learn to accept where you are. And a lot of people, it's like turning lemons into lemonade. I don't actually believe in that. I believe in throwing out the lemons and going out and getting some strawberries and creating that strawberry pie that you want, because you have that option. We have a bunch of people who are literally waiting for permission to be successful, waiting on permission for someone to say that it's okay to go out and chase your dreams. And they're just kind of waiting. They're kind of in stasis. They're just like, walking through, not even mud, because if you walk through mud, at least you're making forward progress. They're just kind of like in suspended animation of life. For 10 years, they've been in the same place. 20 years, they've been in the same unhappy place because they haven't developed the right mindset. When I was going through that stuff, as I talked in the Hustler Mindset Project, I created Scheme Incorporated, and I got myself a job just, by creating the way. And many people think that's unethical, and I'm cool with that. It's one of the best things I ever did, because I created a situation that opened up a totally new world for me. A totally new world for me. I was able to meet people, learn new things, learn new skill sets, and just see life on a different level. And that's another reason about being miserably comfortable is you kind of put a fence around your opportunities. It's like, well, you hear people say, I'll talk about the black community and the white community. And for most of you, I don't really believe in the percepts of race per se, but for the sake of this conversation, I'll use those terms. If you live in the United States of America, there's no black community. There's no white community. There's no Asian community. There's just Americans living in different places. And as an American, if you have the right mindset, you have the right resources, you can live anywhere you want. Understand that. There are many people that don't know that. They don't know that. It's in front of their face. It's evident. And then this is another part about tribalism. There are many people who are afraid to leave their tribe because it's almost like you're selling out your tribe. Going back to high school, there was a table of the jocks. There was a table of the popular people. There was the white people. There were black people. And have you ever noticed, if you're a certain age, because, kids today don't operate like that, that if you're in one of those tribes and you leave that table to go sit with another tribe, you will get called out by your tribe. Why are you going over there to sit with them? Now understand, there's no intellectual discourse. There's no one that's saying, what's wrong with sitting with them? No. It's just you got up, you left the tribe. You are Benedict Arnold. You have betrayed the tribe, and we hate you. And no one's really thought about what's the real problem. It's habit. People in the United States of America segregate themselves because it's habitually the norm. Whenever you get people from different backgrounds and you put them in a situation where the walls are broken down, it's amazing what a good time people frequently have. One of the greatest examples of that is the military. And it's just like, whoa, these people are cool. Wow. because they're put in situations where all of those habitual boundaries are broken down. Because I said something really stupid when I was in the military and I got checked hard by my staff sergeant. It's like, we don't play that shit here. Get yourself together, troop. And that's the thing. Many people are following a script of a play that they don't even want to watch. But because it's habitually normal, that's what they keep doing. And then they wonder, why doesn't it work out? Why aren't things getting better? Why can't I have the things I want in life? You know, I look at people totally different because I'm different. When you go through these things, when you start to make a way, and understand, this will be fundamentally hard because you're not used to making a way. And I'll say this, when the economy went sideways, there was a group of people already at the bottom. Shit didn't change for them. It was like, it was already bad. Nothing really changed for them. Then there was a group of people that were in the middle that were pushed into the bottom and they freaked out. And understand that downward trajectory is going to continue for certain groups of people because the economy, as I said before, is very tricky. It's a very tricky situation. There are people who are making billions of dollars and there are people who can't even get a slice of cheese right now. And it's all a matter of mindset, skill sets, and claiming the opportunities that are there for you. And that's what I like about hustling. There are people who here on YouTube, it's like, hey, Glendon's not a reseller. I never claimed to be a reseller, so I don't even know where that came from. I used to be a reseller a long time ago. But since I like evolution, since I embrace change, I never said anything like I'll never be anything other than a reseller, because as the world goes forward, that's going to change, because one of the reasons that it's so easy to be a reseller is because we live in the United States of America where the abundance is ridiculous. You go to other countries, you have families living in upscale apartments the size of a walk-in closet of one of these luxury houses or mansions. You go to other countries. I was having lunch a few weeks ago with someone who just came. He's been all over the world. And he was saying something because, I hear people on YouTube, and it's really interesting when you have friends who are exposed. I got a friend that lives in Switzerland right now. I got a friend that lives in Sweden. Most places in the world do not have the reliable grid that we do. If you're in the Philippines, you can be on the internet. 2 days, your shit can go down because the power grid went down or there was a flood. People with VAs and stuff, that shit happens. You think your VA is gone? They ain't gone. They just can't log on because the grid is down. Wi-Fi that we have that's ubiquitous, that if you're in the major metropolitan area and you can go 2.5 miles and hit a free Wi-Fi signal, that's not like that in the rest of the world. It's not even close to like that. Wi-Fi is iffy, and if it's on, it's weak. So understand, the reason that it's easy to be a reseller is because we live in a country of so much vast abundance. And that's going to start changing. You're not going to have people who have a closet full of clothes that they've never worn any. They're not going to be able to buy that stuff because they won't have the money. Because the thing is, I was on that ledge of, with the dollar, gold, and silver. And there was a lot of stuff. And I watched these channels and the prepper channels and everything in the doom. And understand, this thing is going to keep going because it's all about manipulation. Understand, people like, when the economy, the shit hits the fan scenario, the grids go down, there's anarchy, there's war in the streets. It's like Mad Max. It's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. And I know many people are like, yeah, it's going to. No, it's not going to happen because it should have happened already. It should have happened 40 years ago. The manipulation, the trickeration, they're going to keep this thing going on because it benefits so many people. Understand, those in power, it doesn't benefit them to have a population that doesn't have any money, doesn't have any water, doesn't have any livings. No, by lulling you into that comfortable misery, they can milk you dry forever. and keep most of the spoils. It doesn't benefit those in power for everybody to be ass out. It benefits them for you to be poor, but have some coins, some scratch. It doesn't benefit them for you to be destitute. Understand that. That's why, I looked at it, I was like stacking up on silver. I had gold. I was just like, okay, if stuff truly hits the fan, understand we're all gone because some crazy person is going to flip a switch and nukes are going to fly and obliterate humanity. That's going to happen because there's, at that point, that's what's going to happen. That's the death scenario. So personally, I don't think it's going to happen. And I adjusted my attitude because I started making a way. I changed the mindset because when you listen to that, you get what I call constriction mentality. You start thinking scarcity. You start thinking conservation. You don't think grow, gain, abundant. And that's why mindset is so important, because you can have two people living in the same house. One is living on a scarcity mindset. One's living on the abundant mindset. And you can see the difference when they walk out the house. Same house, different mindsets. Mindset's super important. So as a hustler, whatever you want to hustle, you have to put it in your mind that you can make a way. There's no options. Give you another example. I trained with some power lifters when I was in Hawaii, was stationed in Hawaii, and I was doing squats wrong. I used to take a plank and put it under my heels. And this guy's like, no, that's wrong. Heels flat. And I was like, well, and he told me, he said, the reason that you're squatting like that is you lack flexibility in your hips. And I'm like, what? And he's like, hips drop first. Then, I was like, whatever. And he worked with me. And he told me, he said, there is no option. If you want to be big, you want to be strong, you must squat. It is not optional. You must make a way. And 3 weeks later, heels flat, I was doing it. I developed the hexability. And so that's the mindset. That's being open and exposed. Because certain things are not optional. Going back to my client, when he finally got it, his revenues tripled in 90 days. 90 days, his revenues tripled when he finally got it, because he made a way and he got out of his way. Understand, your goal as a hustler is to control. Many hustlers have, I'm making it happen, I'm making it rain. I am a joystick hustler. I like toggling that joystick and making shit happen and not being involved. Because that's been my growth in these last 5 years. Because I used to be the hands-on hustler. I got to make it happen. I got to go to the auctions. I got to buy the stuff. Got to make sure it's shipped. That is very limiting belief. As an I got to hustler, you're going to make maybe 6 figures and you're going to tap the fuck out. Because your infrastructure is insufficient for further growth. You're not going to get any bigger. You're not going to make any money. And as these internet platforms continue to change, your revenues will go down because your infrastructure is not situated for growth. If you want to make it today, you must be a growth-minded hustler. If not, you'll do fine for a limited period of time and then you will backslide. And that's why I tell people, don't be afraid of doing this stuff. And I give you full disclosure. Like I said, Amazon, eBay, they're tricky platforms. They can bite you in the ass if you do the wrong thing. And they both allow customers to bend you over backwards. But it's part of one of the arrows in your quiver of being a hustler and success. Because if you're out buying and selling stuff, you need the platforms. I hate the platforms, but you need them. So just something for you to think about when the next time you're saying, I'm not going to do that. Not because the data says, hey, this isn't a good move for your business. I'm with that plan all day long. If the data says, hey, we shouldn't do this, you shouldn't do it. But if you're not doing something because you are afraid, you're not doing something because you don't want to go through the trouble that will clearly benefit your hustling business, you're a dumbass. and you're a scared little bitch. And I'm telling you, scared little bitches die 1,000,000 times in a lifetime. Every day is a death because they go forward and they shrink back and they get that little scared little bitch voice and they don't go forward in life. So I want you to have a life of abundance. I want you to have a life where you can have the things that you want. It's possible even in the matrix, because understand, the powers that be, the trickeration and the manipulation, they leave several different levels for you to occupy that is far from the bottom. Because that's how the system's designed. The system is so big. It's like a building. You can have a 200-story building, and in that building, there could be places that people can hide and create another city because it's so big. That's what you could do in the Matrix. Instead of going like, oh shit, I'm fucked. Oh shit, I'm gonna make it away. I'm gonna do this. I am gonna create my own opportunities. I am going to make a way. Then you figure it out. That is how you become a true hustler. That's the art of hustling. It's not about manipulating people or getting over. It's exploiting yourself and your personal abilities to get all the things that you want. That's how I look at hustling, and it's done a great deal for me. All right, this is Glendon Cameron. I'll see you on the good side.